Serafina and I were at a entrepreneurial book club where Stephanie never read the right book. And
Stephanie was terrible at this book club.
I really sucked at book club.
I did
Fabulous. What?
I just had a visual. I just had a
It was a
visual.
lot.
I had a visual.
He's proud of it. If you can hear us, say hello to us. Hi and good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday. How you doing?
It's not raining.
Yeah, right.
I'll take it.
Thank you for being positive about that. Because like it has been a holy hot mess of just water. And I know we need it. And everyone's like, we need the rain. I get it. But
Not
I'm
in
over it.
that much.
Yeah, right?
For days.
In abundance.
Yes.
So we've got Jenn Brann in the studio. I'm really excited to have you in here because you, I feel, have a pulse on a lot of what's going on with women in business.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
That's right.
You and I met at a business connect. I think it was a CCYP business connect in Falmouth last year or the year before that.
Oh, yes.
But
At the gym?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
We had known each other prior to and had seen each other in all of our works because I feel like when you're a woman in business, you're doing all the things.
You want to connect.
Yeah.
You want to be able to network. You want to get to know other, amazing women and what they're doing. And I was really impressed with what you're doing with the Mashpee Chamber.
Thank
and
you.
Really wanting to get more involved because, as we said earlier, your supporting of the local small business is really important for our region, and it needs to be in every single town. And the shopping local needs to be more of the focus of what we're doing these days.
Yeah. Oh boy, I've been steeped in getting something ready, and by me, I mean everybody, all hands on deck. Something about me, if you have not known.
Ooh, I'm ready. Is this juicy? Wait. Is it juicy?
When we're working together, we're all working together and we're all doing it together.
That's right. That's
It's
right.
like all hands on deck. You're not just going to be a fly on the wall and do nothing. And my kids are like, oh God, no, not another idea. What is she making us do? You are,
all the time.
your family is also like this.
Oh, hands down. They say all the time, like, how are you so busy right now?
Right.
You're doing this, you're doing that. It's to be involved in the community is super important to me in all aspects. So either you're supporting small business or in the community and civic engagement. That is really who we are as the Cape, as our region, and coming together. We're singularly, I don't want to say we're nothing. We're not as powerful, but together as team and women,
Yeah.
come on, we're badasses.
Yeah, I agree.
And when we come together, it's even more powerful. So it's really important to support those women in business because it's challenging.
Well, you and your husband also have a business and for 25 years.
25 years. Yep. Richard Brann drywall business here on the Cape.
How is it like working with your hubby? I mean, when one person in your group owns a business, we all own the business. This is it.
You never get away from
No.
each other. And if you run your own business, you understand you're never off the clock.
No.
It's 24/7. And that's why it's so interesting and why I support small business, because you, on the opposite side as an employee, you think, oh, this is so easy. Oh, you come and go as you please. You get to do what you want. But it is a 24/7 job, 365. But for my husband, I'm fortunate that he is truly the artist in what he does.
Yeah.
Okay. Here on Cape Cod, we have a lot of old houses. And so being an artist to make the old come with the new and make it look good is definitely a challenge, especially when you turn lights on and now you see absolutely everything.
Yeah, right.
Every imperfection. So he's the artist and then I run the business. So it's a great team effort. And we just celebrated 25 years of marriage. So
congratulations.
I guess we're doing something okay.
Right? We'll be there soon. What's up, Dave? Huck, good morning. Thanks for joining
morning.
us. We've got Jenn Brann on the show, and we're just talking about business this morning. We met at a business connect. You have been in the throes of it, raising your family, running a business, and then you have started to kind of branch out. You co-founded this Cape Women in Business group. I mean, it was a great group of people. It wasn't just
Correct.
you.
Oh, no. Correct.
But I love the group that put this together. Kim Marchand, Serafina,
Correct.
Cindy Collings.
Yep.
Who else is
Beverly
in there?
Roberts, Xavier Walker.
Yeah.
And a group of amazing women, again, doing multiple different things. So really trying to do this
What
on
made
the
you want
side.
that?
So it started as the Boston Business Women's Cape Cod chapter.
Yeah.
They were creating chapters, and so Kim spearheaded the whole thing. She was involved in the Boston Business Women group. She wanted to start the Cape Cod chapter, and so as soon as I heard about this, I'm on board. I want to be able to support it, the local part of it. For myself, I didn't have an interest in that Boston market for my day job at the time. For my business,
who has time for that?
Well,
the Cape is big enough. People forget how large the Cape is. And for us to even cover the Cape is crazy, right. Let alone add Boston in there. We don't have time for this.
No. Well, and for my business, for drywall, you have to go to that job multiple times. Yeah. So you can't be in Boston and in Falmouth or Falmouth is definitely like the whole of
right. Hi.
Falmouth versus P-Town. So even from the very beginning, I was much more interested in trying to do something just locally supportive of the Cape Cod region. I'm looking for the Boston chapter to tap into their resources, their members, to really expand because their presence is known.
Yeah.
So soon after we had started all that, there really wasn't as much support as we were hoping for. And then they started dismantling the chapters. So we had joked and even previously said, let's go rogue, let's do our own thing.
Yeah.
And so that's when Cape Women in Business was then.
And that's when they did.
That's when we came together. We defected.
I love it.
And so, and it's all about lifting, connecting, networking, and mentoring women in business. So whether you own your own business, you are in leadership in another business, that support is so important because no matter what stage of your business you're in, no matter where you're in your job, trying to, maneuver all those different changes is trying to bring those people together to be able to have resources for that.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. Yeah, the support system is a big one, especially when you're a woman in business. We tend to flock together. We don't even go to the bathroom alone most of the time. But we also just need somebody else to be like, am I crazy? And for somebody else to be like, yes, you are. But
right. Here's your resource.
Your feelings are valid. And right. Here is your resource.
That's right.
Which is really nice.
Yeah. And we even saw that in the very beginning. It's a very casual environment similar to this.
Yeah.
And just going with it and recognizing what is the need out there. There's so many groups.
Yeah.
So how do we differentiate ourselves?
I do find it challenging to decide what I'm going to do. There's so many activities. And if you're just like, there's nothing to do, you're not doing it right because there are so many wonderful groups and people and circles. Good morning, Miss Mari. Ashley, great to see your face again. Leah, thanks for joining us. Hey, Chris Ball. We've got Jenn Brann here from our Cape Women business. And we're just talking about that connection that you need, that tether to feel like you're being heard. And also, what do I do when this problem happens?
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you, one of the biggest things that women in the group talk about is networking and not being comfortable in that networking.
Yeah.
They go to a networking event, there seems to be, sometimes they can be cliquey and you just feel that, that you're all by yourself. And so we joke and say, we do like the buddy system. You're going to an event. We talk about the different events we're going to be at. If you want to go to that, come along with me. So it kind of helps ease you into starting to do that because when you're first getting into it, you don't know what to say.
Well,
you don't know what to do.
We don't trust anybody. It's like my problems are uniquely my problems. I don't want to make them your problems. But at the same time, it's like, well, what if somebody judges me for not being able to handle this the way that they think that I should? We've got this really intricate system in our brain where we think we just can do everything all the time, and most of the time we can.
Well, and I agree with that very much, except
we can do it.
I tell people, I turned 50 this year. And at this point, if you don't like me,
and it doesn't always have to be a heavy lift either, right? You're not over here. Sorry.
No,
I'm not for
and
you.
Not take offense to anything. I mean, when you're, a woman and everything is, worried about how you're responding to something, how you're doing something. Instead, come as you are.
Yeah.
And you will find your people, you will find where you connect. But the importance with networking, whether in small business or even in or whether it's your business or somebody else's business, getting out there and networking is so important because marketing is changing.
Yeah. Is it ever.
And so, how do you spend your money on different marketing efforts, whether it's print, and that's kind of a hard thing to do right now, whether it's radio, it depends on your market. Radio might not be the right thing. Social media obviously is huge, but getting out there and talking with people, telling them about your business. And so these networking events are the prime, opportunity to be able to connect with people. So
Yeah.
some of the first ones I would go to, I don't even know what to say. I don't know what. And then I realized we're all here for the same reason. We're
I
here
know.
to network. So
Yeah.
get over yourself, break the ice, get over there, talk to them. And then before you know it, you've met a new friend, you've connected. And a lot of what I say is, even if I can't connect you to my business or the job I'm doing, maybe I'm going to connect you with somebody in my network. Maybe there's a pain point that you have that, I got the right person for you.
Yeah.
And by connecting those people, we're supporting each other.
Yeah.
Which is huge for the community.
It was really funny when I've been signing, my husband's been a member of the Mashpee Chamber for a long time, and he's just very uncomfortable in networking spaces.
You need to drag him out.
I do.
Okay, girl.
And he has been doing it. Like, this has been something over his development over the last few years, like always great behind the scenes, back of the house kind of guy, very supportive, wonderful, but really in person is like, and also like, I don't like people. I'm just like, you do absolutely like people. That's not it.
Make sure you say that as soon as you come into the room, because that will really be.
It'll open things up. It'll open it up. But it was really funny. He went to a networking event that I had signed him up for, and he begrudgingly went and ended up leaving there with business. And I just looked at him and I was like,
see. I told you so.
That's weird. It works. Wow, weird.
And you probably didn't even say that. In your brain, you probably said that, but you're like, don't do it.
No, I 100% did.
All right. I would have been a little nicer, a little bit more delicate, but if that's how you roll.
What? A networking event where you left with actual work? So weird.
Truly, that is how networking is most effective. A lot of people think and it cracks me up. One of the events we just did recently, when I posted, I said, not every networking event has to involve drinking.
No.
And everybody started, they're like, come on, what are you talking about? You're messaging me and everything. And it doesn't, a lot of the younger generation are not drinking.
No, they're not.
And so they are looking for different ways to connect. In many ways, we are excluding them from those networking opportunities because they don't want to be, ostracized, if you want to say, because they're not drinking. So, to go there and to connect is one thing. So some people, it is a social thing.
Yeah.
They're just going to drink, have a conversation and, I've talked to one person and leave, but it's that follow-up the next day.
Yeah.
It's that following up with an email. Let's have a meeting. Let's connect. I want to learn more about what your business is, because that relationship, to me, it's more about the relationship. It's not, I need to connect with you to then want to be able to support you and connect you to others, because if you're not going to return a phone call, if I refer you, if you're not going to, respond in a timely manner, that will look bad on me. So the importance of building that relationship to understand what drives them, what's making their business, again, what's their pain points?
Yeah.
How can I help, that person be more successful? So, it can be very time consuming with so many events. It can be extremely overwhelming. I find it most effective.
Yeah.
I really do find it most effective, the networking versus,
because you can talk to someone intimately about what's going on with them. And I love referring. It's my favorite thing is to refer other people to things when I'm like, I've got a person for you. And I now have become that person. They're like, oh, let's ask Stephanie about blah, blah, blah. I had a great conversation with Andrea Scarpolini yesterday, who is the food access coordinator for the county of Barnstable. And she's like, oh, I wrote your name down on the whiteboard because I needed to ask you about X, Y, and Z. And I was like, I love that I'm that resource, though. That makes me super happy. Denise, do you ever rest? Do you ever rest? Well, I don't ever rest.
Who needs to rest? We'll do that someday.
I'll rest when I'm dead. Like, I got things to do, Denise. Like today, I will be out at noontime. I'm going over to another fabulous business female that I know, Kelly Washburn, who owns Enchanted Florist in Centerville.
Oh, okay. Very familiar.
And she is it's called Petal Forward. It is a national program by all of the florists in the United States to give one bouquet for you for free. Wow. And then another one to you to give to somebody else to brighten their day. It's to bring happiness and it's just addressing mental health. And I was like, what a gloomy day. This is a perfect day to come get 2 free bouquets. So while you're swinging by the Bell Tower Mall, swing in through Enchanted Florist and come and see me for a couple of bouquets for free. And Kelly just really gets so excited about it. Also, if you're looking for centerpieces or wedding, anything, This woman is got
Amazing.
a crazy
Amazing.
amount of knowledge when it comes to plants. I kill everything.
I'm a plant lover. My husband makes fun of me. No more plants. I am definitely a plant lover. And we've done arrangements from there.
Yeah.
She is amazing.
Yeah.
Hands down, every arrangement we've ever had has
I was
been
like, Kelly, I need this to last
amazing.
like 2 weeks. Last year, she gave me this beautiful floral arrangement that sat on my thing, and she told me what to do with it, and it lasted a full month. So I absolutely adore her. She is my tried and trusted human being to go to when it comes to making sure things look pretty.
That's amazing.
For the longest amount of time they possibly can. Good morning, Dave Hagner. Hey, John Ann, another fabulous female that is in our spaces. And I do want to talk about our Mashpee Chamber membership. It is still time to jump in and be a part of all of these fabulous events, which we are in Cape Space. Kim Marchand is the person who co-founded this fabulous Cape Women in Business group with you and has been such a champion of women in business.
Huge supporter.
Yeah. And she has given this space to you.
Oh, yes. Yeah. We've had several functions there. And it's whether in Mashpee or in Hyannis. So having both locations is very convenient when you're trying to change up the scenery or convenience of things. And so, not only is she supporting those small entrepreneurs that don't have a nice home office that they can work out of or do. Maybe that's what you should do. You should do one of your shows from up. But I don't know. Well, no, the Mashpee Commons, you're right on the corner.
Exactly.
No, she's amazing in what she does. And another person that does, many jobs, wears many hats. And
my chamber office is up in there. I love it. And it also makes me feel like I have coworkers. I'm like, hey, what's going on?
That's right.
Going back to my room.
I would have joined
lonely.
I would have joined you at the florist this afternoon, but I will be at a ribbon cutting for Xavier Walker, her new location, pop-up street Cape Cod at 606 Main Street in Hyannis. She just opened up her first store. And if anybody's available and in the area, definitely stop by to support her and the organization that she's, really spearheading. And another woman, again, part of the Cape Women in Business, but also one that has multiple jobs, does multiple things, and bringing the community together.
Yeah.
That's really the center focus of a lot of what I think women do. They try to bring people together. You do it for family functions. We're trying to bring the people together to celebrate this beautiful region.
Yeah. Yep. I totally agree. And that's your mission, right? Putting that community together.
That's right.
For Cape Women Business, but also you've got some great events like your Biz Bites.
Yep. So once a month, the second Monday of each month, it's on Zoom. It's at 12 o'clock. So come have lunch with us. We have a different guest speaker each month. And the topic varies each month. So it depends on whether some things that are coming up or just a special theme for the month to be able to talk it through. And very similar to this casual environment. It's not scripted. The guest speaker, I just had Cara Cipolo, it was just on Monday, who came on. And so she says, well, how long do I have? Right in the middle of the call. And I said, well, you have about half an hour. And she went, half an hour? I said, don't worry. Just talk about your business. We're going to talk about the event. And don't you worry. I'll pull out the questions.
Yeah.
And sure enough, we actually ran a little bit late because it was engaging and how everybody else participated in the call.
It's always that weird ice-breaking moment where you're like, how am I going to get into this? But then once you start talking, you're like, okay, this really isn't a problem at all.
So it's a free event. And so you can sign up. Anybody can join. Particularly women, here on the Cape, but we do have some people.
We don't ostracize you, boys.
No, if you want to join, by all means. But it's just a great way to connect. And again, in those casual atmospheres, that's when some of the pain points of some of these women in business, those things come to light. So we talk about it, and then that helps us then, shift our next one or what resources do we want to be able to have available to then help them be more successful?
Yeah.
And confident in what they do. We kind of joked about it earlier, but that confidence level in each of us, I would say comes with age, but if we can help younger entrepreneurs feel more confident and get out there, when it's together,
I wish I had somebody that gave me that confidence to be in. I mean, it was a different space where I was working in media and radio. it was a different kind of feel. I didn't feel like it was mine. It's very
different.
weird to say that. But I mean, when I had this epiphany and awakening at 45 years old, and I was like, oh my God, I can do that.
Right.
I'm allowed to say that. So this has been a very big development over the last 5 years of my business life.
That's right.
Of, working for somebody else as a worker bee. And now I'm, doing it for myself, which is just a different flip. So if you find
Right.
yourself at 50, 60, this is why I loved E4L, because I was in a group of entrepreneurs. It was during pandemic, and I had a 70-year-old woman in my business cohort that was learning her new business.
That's awesome.
And I was just like, okay, if she could do it, shut your mouth. Like, girl, you could do this.
That's right. But that's empowering in its
Yeah.
own. That's to say, okay, if this person can do it, I can do it too. But that's also, so I have a 23-year-old daughter. So again, empowering them to
I
learn the
love them
lessons,
seeing that.
learn those lessons that we've learned without it, being preachy. Coming
Right.
from
Well,
parents.
yeah.
That's the hard part. Oh, yeah, Mom, I know. But
It has been the best education that I've been able to gift my children, is for them to see that life is not linear.
Correct.
And there are
You mean there's no straight paved road and
Right?
it's nice and easy and no bumps? No.
And it's been really, because that's how I was raised. My I have immigrant parents, and it was just, my mom's a nurse. Dad works in mechanics. He was an elevator mechanic, and it was just like, you do that job all day, and then you come home and you eat dinner, and then that's it. That's
Life
their
sucks.
one job for your entire life, and this is what you do, and you don't enjoy anything.
No.
You just go to work and you collect a paycheck, and
No. There's
you
more to
check
life.
those boxes until you retire, and then you die.
Yeah. Amen.
Right? But it took me being shaken from a space where I was asleep anyway. So it was just a really good awakening to come into entrepreneurship. And I'm so thankful that the Cape has so many things to offer, and so many groups, and so many wonderful people, and so many avenues to get help, have support, have those resources, have
Amazing.
people championing you,
Right.
or just somebody to talk to that you don't have to pay, like a therapist.
Amen to that. Well, and so 25 years ago, when my husband was, I was trying to encourage him to start his own business.
Yeah.
And the what ifs.
I love
Well, what
that.
if this and what if that? And so I jokingly said to him, "Don't worry, honey. Just wait until you're 80 and then start the business." And so the what ifs are huge.
It's real.
And I said to him, "What if it doesn't work out? Then we just close doors and we go work, you go work somewhere else." The what ifs will be worse later on if you didn't.
Never did.
Correct. And how do we succeed without failure?
Yeah.
You need to take those steps. Otherwise, you do that one job forever that you absolutely hate. That, yes, it's a paycheck, but there's got to be more to life than that.
Yeah. And I'm really glad that my 25-year-old, who is right now in a life change situation where she found out all the stuff she went to school for, she doesn't like.
Yeah, that's the
And
road.
so now she's going to school for something else. And
Good.
she's not even sure if she likes that. And I'm just like, you have to do those no thank you tastes of life before you figure out where you're going to be. And once again, it's not going to be forever. You might not like that either.
That's
It's okay.
Right.
And
Well-
we shift, we grow.
Well, I think that's what's good about women having so many side gigs, as we joked
Yeah.
earlier. You can't really get bored at any one thing. You're doing so many different things that, and I tell my kids, every single job is going to have a part that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, no job is so perfect that everything is golden and beautiful. Every job, even if it's what you love, it's still going to be parts that you don't like.
Yeah. There's
about it.
washing toilets. That's part of it. Doesn't matter. You'll have to wash the toilet.
Find joy in washing the toilet. I don't know about that.
Some
You're on
people
your own with
do.
that one.
I don't know.
But I do believe that everybody does play an important part in every organization. And so there is, as much as obviously we've all washed a toilet
Yeah.
of our own, but
Whatever.
you
Gotta
all
be
play
done.
a part in that whole big picture. So, and it's also important to do all those steps.
Yeah.
Because then it makes you appreciate all those people that do those other jobs. So later on, you if you have to do it, because let's face it, there's always a time that you got to go back and start over again and do it all over again. But no, that path is definitely hard. My daughter is again 23. She originally wanted to be a film director. That's I'm like, okay,
Right, cool, let's go.
way up there. And then she started going to school for photography, and then realized, wow, I like photography better. So, and I said to her, that's the part of school that helps kind of define that.
Exactly.
How many kids go off to college and know exactly what they want to do? And in many cases, even if they did know what they want to do, then they get into it and go, I don't want to do this
Yeah.
anymore.
Wait a minute. This isn't glamorous.
It's-
This
it's-
isn't fun.
My only luck, if you want to say for my kids, is my daughter has been going to school to Southern New Hampshire University, so online. So very economical. And my son went to 4Cs. He did
Perfect.
he did the aviation mechanic program. Amazing program. I can't speak enough about it. And the second year of that program, college was free.
Yeah, that's
so these
amazing.
kids aren't coming out with degrees, and now they have thousands of dollars worth of debt, or the parents, whoever's
Right.
taking on that responsibility for that path.
Yeah.
Because those first couple of years, they don't know what the hell they're doing.
I know. Thankfully,
or what
we've
they want
shifted
to
that.
do.
Exactly.
Correct.
I still don't know what I want to do. And I stopped referring to things as jobs now. I just refer to them as revenue streams. And there are revenue streams I dislike, but I will take the money because I know it works.
So one thing I've said to my husband for many years, and this is kind of my motto all along, is follow what you love and what you do well, and the money will come.
Yeah.
And those that focus on the money, it tend to not be as successful, or money isn't everything.
No, it's not.
It isn't everything. And so in a lot of the businesses that I've worked for, or even my own business, is focusing on what you do well, that the money comes.
Yeah.
And so, and when it's the opposite way, and I think that's a hard thing to take on, especially in today's economy.
Yes.
Because
Well,
everything
it's
is so
stressful.
expensive.
I know.
That you have to be able to pay your bills and do your things. But again, by having your side gigs or revenue streams.
Exactly.
I like side gigs. It just sounds so much more fun.
Right? So cool, glamorous. I got a gig tonight.
I guess you sound fancy if you say revenue
Right.
streams, but I like to, I want to be more fun.
Hysterical.
But it's true. It
Hey,
makes it
John.
easier.
Good morning, Allison and Kathy. Thank you for joining us. John, how was your vacation? I didn't see any photos, so I'm sure it was fabulous and you haven't shared with us, or maybe I just wasn't looking.
Or
I
maybe
haven't
he
had
was
time.
waiting until he came back, because you really shouldn't
Oh,
post the pictures when you're gone.
I know.
Because then it tells everybody your home is empty, unless you have multiple kids at home. Like
Correct.
I do.
Like I do. I was like, my house is Grand Central. It's never not occupied.
But his situation, I don't know his situation. Maybe that was a smart move.
Hysterical. Well, we've got a big vote coming up next week, and we've got a lot of water conversations that we're having here in Mashpee. Please get educated, read about it, watch the meetings, watch all of the meetings are actually saved. Thank you very much to our friends over at Mashpee TV. Chris Ball does a really good job. Justin and the crew of capturing all of that, then putting it online so you can, because we're busy doing 42,000 other things, to be able to go to those meetings. And if you can't, just catch up and watch what's going on, and just please come out and vote. I really hate when people complain about, well, I would never have said that. Well, you didn't show up.
Amen. And you
Show up.
Met with Emily Wagner with the CCYP.
Yeah.
Did you guys talk about the civic and community engagement?
No,
committee?
so I had a conversation yesterday with Emily, and we were just talking about how we're working together on a couple of things. And, I said to Emily, I'm a chamber of one. I know what I'm good at, but there are lots of things that CCYP does that I would love to be able to offer my businesses. So let's work together. And it's like that collaborative spirit
Collaboration.
where I don't have to create programs and do all of these things, where we can
No.
lean on each other
Correct.
to be able to utilize each other's services. Because I'm not a me mind person.
Right.
I don't need to own anything. You're doing something great. I identified that. You keep doing that great stuff. And so you're on one of their civic engagement committees.
Correct. And it's for that exact purpose that you
Yeah.
were talking about. A lot of people, I'm going to use my husband.
All of us.
If you're watching, I'm in trouble, because
There's a
he is a
reason why.
big talker in the living room, and he wants to change things. And I'm like, okay, so are you getting involved?
Right.
Are you paying attention? Are you supporting? If you don't want to get involved yourself, are you supporting somebody that you do believe in? But truthfully, our local, the politics is really where we need to be at.
Yeah.
You can't complain about what's going on if you're not getting involved. So yes, I'm on the Civic and Community Engagement Committee with CCYP, and Emily's doing a phenomenal job of. So it's not, we jokingly used to say that the Cape Cod not so young professionals, because there was older people. We're trying to attract younger people, and Emily's doing an amazing job.
The name always
with that.
threw me, but you're a young professional. Like
That's
I'm
right.
new to this
That's right.
job of being a professional.
But she's really doing an amazing job.
She is.
And this is why, so it's part of this is very similar to what I was saying, with networking with the Cape Women in Business, is with this committee is trying to have groups of people that will go to town meeting. So you're not going to town meeting by yourself. And it doesn't necessarily mean that everybody in the group is going to see eye to eye on how they believe on
No,
things.
I like that though, because sometimes when you're in a new setting and you don't feel like you belong there, or you don't feel like you should, you don't know, you're not
Right.
knowledgeable, and it's an uncomfortable space for you to
Yes.
be in. I love that, grabbing a friend and going.
That's
So
right.
you're like, okay, we're both here to learn stuff.
That's right. That's right. And it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get up to the podium that first time and say something.
For sure.
But if you go a few times, like networking,
Yeah.
you go a few times, you get more of a comfort level, then, maybe there is a topic that is near and dear to you, and you want to be able to get up and say something. Going those few times, getting involved, will have a much bigger impact locally and in your town. But if you don't show up, there's,
Yeah.
I hate to say it's only, the older people that have the time to go to these meetings, or I
Oh,
don't know
yeah.
about you. I'm an early bird girl. So I joke that, come 9 o'clock, I turn into a pumpkin and
I'm exactly right there with you.
I'm in bed. But, so it's important to be able to get involved, and in that group environment, there is more comfort, and helps you kind of come out of your shell a little bit more. So I definitely encourage anybody that is wanting to get involved and is scared. You're not alone.
Right.
There's a lot of that. And so the Civic and Community Engagement Committee, also posts when your town meetings are happening, when you can get together. Typically, we get together for, say, coffee right before the event to just, introduce everybody, get comfortable with each other. And again, even when you go to the meeting, it doesn't mean you have to sit together. It doesn't mean you have, there's no requirements. It's just trying to get people involved.
Yeah.
And that's the important part.
I love that. Good morning, Paul. Thanks for joining us on the show. We've got Jenn Brann here, and we are just talking all kinds of engagement, events, activities. I joined my town's EDIC.
Yep.
And so I don't know how I ended up the secretary. Thanks a lot, Denise.
Isn't that how it always happens?
I was like, wait a minute. What? I'm new here. And I did, because I was like, I'm sick of complaining about things. I need to start showing up.
Good
I
for
need
you.
to be
Good for you.
active. I need to know what's going on.
That's right.
I need to know what this is all about. And I'm just showing up. Do I know anything? No, but I'm here.
But something tells me after you've been to a few meetings and you get your comfort level, you really won't hold back.
Yeah, no.
And that's the importance is getting involved. And again, it takes a little while to get a comfort zone to really find, where you are comfortable, and then, evolve in that position. So thank you for doing that, because a lot of these organizations, are trying to fill seats. And there's a difference between filling a seat with a body and somebody that actually wants to do stuff.
Yeah.
That's totally different.
Well, and I'm now at the age where I can do stuff, right? My kids aren't babies anymore. I don't have to worry about babysitting. And I know that's always a challenge for young people.
Correct.
And I know we always complain about having young voices to show up and be a part of it. But when I was 20 to 40, I did not have time to be able to do anything, because I was momming.
Right.
When I wasn't working, I was momming.
Right.
And so that I would love to be able to offer some childcare solutions and other reasons. Like, we're getting there. We're finally having the conversation about doing things better.
Yep.
So we'll get there, but I definitely am glad that I'm able to do this now and show up. So I feel like the young kid in the room, because I'm not only am I new here, but the age of people that show up to these town meetings. Right? We need to euthanize the group.
Wow. She's just going to start all over. Forget that.
I love it. What's up, Christy? So let's talk a little bit about Enterprising Women event that's coming up on the 30th. Kara Cipulo.
Yeah.
I never say it right. Sorry, Kara. Don't be mad at me. She'll be on the show next week, so she can correct me 15 times.
Yeah.
We'll be on, and we're talking about that Enterprising Women and the good group of people that she put together. But you guys in particular are talking about the documentary that's going to be aired later on in the afternoon, right?
Yeah. So Kara Cipulo, Melissa Pond, I don't know if you're familiar with
Yep.
Melissa Pond, and Kim Marchand and myself. Kara pulled us together to develop the Enterprising Women event this year, trying to make it different.
Yep.
And so that event is from 10 till 3 at the Margaritaville on October 30th. I'm super excited about that. 2 different panelists, panels of panelists, and very engaging and different, which, again, there's so many different events. So what do you choose to go to? What do you choose to see? What's going to be most impactful, or I hate to say, but worth your time?
Yes.
I mean, let's get down to it.
Yeah,
That's
right.
really-
I
that's
don't
really
need
what it
another
comes down to.
swag bag. I don't need another whatever. I need to learn some stuff, or I need to connect with people.
right.
Like I need something needs to happen after this.
So there will be some vendor tables there, people selling or promoting their business. So there are vendor tables still available for that, and or sponsors for the event. But Cape Women in Business is then partnering with the Cape and Plymouth Business Marketing to present a public screening of the documentary film Beyond the Gaze. It's Julie Campbell's swimsuit edition. So Julie Campbell was the photographer and producer for the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition.
Okay.
And so much aligning with the Enterprising Women event, the Cape Women in Business event, our organization of supporting women, because Julie Campbell is the one who created Swimsuit Edition. And so when I first saw the documentary at the Woods Hole Film Festival this past summer, I was actually there to support my daughter. She was the photographer for the event. And so I was trying to support the Woods Hole Film Fest and my daughter on top of all these crazy events.
I know.
And what night can I go? And so my daughter said, oh, well, okay, Monday's the night you can come. Well, this is the film. And I look at it and it's just a bunch of women in their bikinis. And I'm like, I'm not really interested. I don't want to go see that. And then I watched the documentary or the trailer and I went, okay, totally different of how I saw the swimsuit edition. I thought, it was subjectifying women, and I just wasn't a big supporter of that. But Julie was an amazing woman who supported the women, protected the women, lifted the women. Just an amazing documentary.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing the public screening of that. Jill Campbell, the producer and director of that documentary, was Julie's daughter-in-law. So she had been married to her son. So real personal documentary, not just, an outside
fluff and stuff.
Correct. And so Jill will be one of the panelists at the Enterprising Women event. We will do the screening from 3 to 5.
That's exciting.
Again, at Margaritaville. And then, even though I said not everything has to be drinks, but drinks with the director. I thought that kind of sounded cool.
Yeah,
drinks
right?
with the director. I mean, how often do you get to talk to the director and really get an inside scoop of it?
I like that.
But really highlighting, sadly, the same issues that Julie was dealing with in the 70s, 80s, and 90s with women in business, not having equal pay, struggling on trying to, create a name for herself. Is where we are at today. And
Yeah,
it seems
I know.
like we're kind of going backwards a little bit. So very empowering. I've been talking about it nonstop since. I had joked with my daughter after seeing the documentary. I said, "Oh, can you get my picture with Jill?" And she was like, "Oh, Mom, you know exactly what I'm talking about."
That monster.
She's
But
like,
when something impacts you like that, and it actually has, it changes your perspective on things.
It does. It does. And so, she goes, "Fine, Mom." And so, I introduced myself to Jill. I told her about Cape Women in Business, and and I was like, "Oh, I'd love to have you, on one of our Biz Bites." And she was, very engaging and very nice. But I'm thinking at the end of her film, and she's going from film fest to film fest all over the country.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking she's just going to write me off and no big deal. No, we have continued the conversation. Again, she's the panelist here. She's going to be we're now putting on this special screening for it. And she lives in New York. So it's not that she lives locally. I mean, she's all over the place. So just thrilled to be able to promote women.
Yeah.
Women. I mean,
well, and it's also like fresh blood. Not, I was like, oh my gosh, new perspectives.
That's right.
I think that's really nice for us to like learn. It's my favorite thing to go travel somewhere or to go other places or to meet other human beings that are living completely different lives and take from that what the importance of actual life.
Well, and you're learning from them. So some of the struggles that they had, as we were talking about our daughters and what we're trying to, not preach to them about, but show them, what is out there. Don't put those barriers up or those challenges up, and just go for it.
Yeah.
And so when you see, some badass women,
I love it. You can say whatever you want on my show, Jenn.
It's empowering, and it shows you can do whatever you want to do. And in most of the times, it's us holding ourselves back. Of what is possible. So reach for that dream, try it. And you know what? You stumble, you fall, get up, learn from it, and start all over again.
The theme is rooted, rising, and resilient this year.
The Enterprising Women. That's
right. And tickets are still available. I think they're light though. I think it's been a Kara said it's been a tremendous outpouring of people that want to go to this.
That's
And
right.
and now I want to see the documentary because I was like, man, do I want the documentary? Meh. Now I'm like, all right, now I want to watch the documentary.
So, and I just did a post on it yesterday and said, grab your girlfriends, grab your mother, your sister. This is such an empowering film for so many. And then I even put in there, and your husband and your son. It's empowering. I'm very fortunate. My husband is a huge supporter of women. He
Yeah.
thinks that we should be running the country and
Yeah.
that we'd be so much better off. So lucky me.
I know. That's what I said. My husband is more of a feminist than I am, and I love that.
And so, I even hoped, and it is 3:00 on a Thursday afternoon, so that is kind of hard, but come on, get out of work a little early, come and enjoy it.
You have an appointment, make a doctor's appointment with this film.
Look at, she thinks of everything.
Exactly. You've got a doctor's appointment. Sometimes you need to do stuff for yourself that is for your health of your brain too.
That's right. And it's just amazing to see, this, Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. That's like big. That's not just some little local thing that happened here. So to learn more about all of that and how it all became,
but I love that
how it evolved.
Yeah, not the objectification of women, and it's more of the empowerment of women, and that's a nice conversation to have.
Oh,
it's
huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting. So yes, the Enterprising Women event is $65 for tickets if you just want to attend the event, not be a vendor or sponsor. To view the documentary, it would be an additional $5. Or if you just want to go to the documentary screening, that would be $15. And so, and for Cape Women in Business, as a new organization, we don't currently have any membership dues or anything like that. But this is an opportunity for us to be able to raise a little bit of money, to be able to be at different events, raise our awareness as just as we're doing today.
You've got a great group of females. Yes. I don't know how I stumbled on one of your meetings, whether I was chatting with somebody else or I had something else, but I ended up solving one of my problems over at the chamber and getting all of the photos that we had in a box somewhere, all digitized. So I was like, thank you, that's done. And then I connected with Corey, who I've been back and forth with a few times.
Corey Blake?
Yeah, she's wonderful. And so I've gotten together with her and another mindful networking group with other, women in businesses that have challenges. And it was just like a very small group of people to uniquely talk about our issues specifically. So it was like one time I went and I ended up solving two of my problems.
Well,
so
and I
great.
love that you mentioned that because actually Corey Blake and the Farah Collective is the sponsor of the documentary screening.
Fabulous.
So again, something that really aligns with what she's doing.
Yeah.
And the involvement, locally here. And I've actually gone to one of her workshops. I don't know if you have.
Yeah. I think I was inadvertently in one and I didn't even know it. What is happening here?
Oh, it was amazing. and I'd never been to one. I didn't know what to expect. And I was pleasantly surprised. As women, we are so worried about being vulnerable.
Yeah.
We're so worried about people, seeing, the true us. We always have to be on.
Yeah.
We always have to be perfect and doing 15 million different things and done right. That sometimes you need to take a step back and realize it's okay not to do everything.
Yeah.
It's okay not to be perfect. Is it? No.
I'm always the fixer and my you know what I mean? I'm the person that I'm like, I've got to fix that for somebody else. All hell is breaking loose and everything's on fire behind me, but I've got to fix this small little problem for so-and-so because that's going to make it all better for me mentally. And my husband's like, what is wrong with you?
But it comes full circle too.
Yes.
When you do that, my family makes fun of me too. I've always volunteered way overboard and been involved in a lot of different things. The give back is amazing. And when you see that smile, when you see that person that, you've just, helped them with something, there's no value of money value on that. To be able to give back and do for others. We should all do more of it.
But also trusting that group will push forward when you need to lean in a little bit. And that's been a weakness of mine, is to allow others to help me.
It's funny you said that. So I had just joked with Kara yesterday. We were on a call for the Enterprising Women event, and I was telling her how when I was at the event last year, I showed up a little bit earlier, and so I had said, "Is there anything I could help you with?" And she goes, "Oh, no." And I looked at her and I said, "Woman, you have to accept when somebody's offering you help, even if it's something small. It's just that, but we feel that it's just easier to just do everything ourselves. So it's really important to be able to recognize when others are trying to help, and it will lighten your load."
Yeah. Yep. It's something it's an emerging skill. I'm working on it right now. Let's talk about you, your next opportunity, your life. Like let's talk about it.
Okay. So I'm currently looking for my next opportunity. I had previously been working at Open Cape for over 7 years. And so I'm looking for my next adventure, if you want
Yeah.
to say, because that's how I look at it. Everything I do is full scale, is there's, there's no half-ass in it. You're either all in, you're all out.
Yeah.
And scaling, that organization was super exciting. But it also reminded me, or really highlighted, why I want to stay in nonprofit. And when you're mission driven, when you're doing things that is not money driven, it has a different purpose. And for me, working with Open Cape, I really believed in what infrastructure could do for our region.
Yep.
By attracting bigger business to allow for us people to live here and work here, to put better internet into the home, for people to work from home and do what they need to do effectively. So to stay in nonprofit, to give back to our community,
Yeah.
that is super important to me. It's kind of hard because, with any kind of pay here on the Cape, it's hard to work here and live here. But I know that, there will be an opportunity where I can
For sure
help scale that business and get involved. And I like, because doing so many different things, that smaller environment allows you to wear many hats to do a lot of different things. Because I'll get bored easy.
Yeah.
And I'm not, I'm not a person that will just be like, okay, let's wait for the, I'm not a punch in and punch out kind of person. I'm there, I'm invested. I want to make an impact in our region. That's really important to me. And as my family, cracks up and says, okay, she's doing something else again.
But you're a creator by nature. Good morning, Miss Cheryl. Thanks for joining us on the show. And you're good at it.
I love connecting with people and pulling people together and seeing. So when we do that and we encourage others and to thrive, we're helping our local business, our economy. Drives me crazy that when I would go off Cape for events early in the morning and see so much traffic coming on the Cape to fill the jobs that are here. And knowing all that money is going off the Cape, it's not staying local. We really need to do more of a push of supporting local, trying to hire local. But that also means, trying to get the pay where, you might actually be able to live here and work here.
Right.
I mean, I say all the time, if I didn't buy my house in 99, I couldn't afford to live in this market.
I know.
Mean, it's crazy.
Yep. It's so true.
Or find something. I mean, I am happy to see a lot of housing going up in Hyannis and all the other towns. I know there's a lot of backlash for multiple different reasons of that housing, whether what it looks like, issues with water for, fire, response and things like that. So I understand a lot of those things. But although I love the Cape of how it is and what it looks like, if we don't provide this housing, how are we supposed to have younger families here? I mean, I just can't afford it.
I know it is a huge problem. There's a summit that's happening, I think, next week to really address this issue. And yes, people who meet don't do. I say it all the time. However, it's got to start somewhere, and that conversation has been being had for the last 5 years. And I don't know if we're any closer to any changes, but I mean, we still have to keep talking about it. And I know it's exhausting.
Well, and again, this is where I say it's collaboration. It's not any one organization or person, or, it's coming together for people that are doers.
Yep.
Again, you have a lot of people that sit in seats and just want it, on their, on their CV, or they just want it on their LinkedIn page, that I do this. But what are you doing to impact locally? Because by doing that, we're helping everybody.
Calling all doers right now. We need things. Cheryl Fox, living on the island is way more expensive.
Amen. You're
I'd
absolutely
rather
right.
live over there. Cheryl, I miss your face. I'm so glad to see you here. One of my oldest friends from Nantucket. I love you to pieces. And I can't even imagine what it looks like right now on the islands. I can't.
After all the rain, or just
just after everything in general.
No, you're
it's
absolutely
insane.
Right. And it is much harder on the islands. Although I have to say, one thing, kudos to the islands, which frustrates me here on this side of the island, or, on the Cape, is your public transportation. I don't understand how the islands can have such a great busing system.
They crush it.
and yet the Cape hasn't figured that out.
I know.
It absolutely floors me that we haven't figured that out after all these
And
years.
I know you're working on it, Kathy. You do an amazing job, and my daughters utilize the Smart Dart, and we have been definitely taking advantage of it. But it needs to get better.
And I did take the
Period.
survey. I mean, there was a survey that went out by the commission, I want to say a couple months ago.
Yep.
I did take it, but by building bigger roads does not mean we solve our problem. I mean,
No.
we've seen that time and time again. We need to figure out different ways to be able to get people around, and even more so for our elderly community. There's a lot of them that need to go to appointments and things like that would be able to help alleviate some of that traffic.
Yeah, we're not getting any younger around here, so we need to figure it out.
No, that's the truth.
I think, we need to work on that. Especially. Yes, Kelly, I'm excited to see you today for Petal It Forward. And good morning, Miss Paula. Thanks for joining us. She said, I'm late to the party, but I will have to rewind. Did you see the video of the crazy line at the steamship? It was crazy. No, I can't. I don't even know. Poor steamship. We love you, steamship. I know there is so much stuff going on right now. And how the hell does one fall off a steamship boat? I'll never know. I don't know. Right? Exactly.
I'm not going there, but there's other ways other than just,
Well, judgy social media immediately was like, how much did he have to drink? It's like, when you're told to get back in your car and stay inside, you should probably best do so. And my favorite, though, in the comments, it's always in the comments section. Why didn't no one try and rescue him? Girl, they threw out all kinds of lifelines to try and get there. Do you think the Coast Guard did you think they wanted to call the Coast Guard? No, that is a last minute attempt to get anything done. Thankfully, everybody's whole and everybody's alive.
That's good.
Can you imagine? My husband's like, oh, you could definitely swim back. I said, it's a nor'easter outside. What is wrong with you?
Show us how it's done, dear.
Get out there, Mr. Falmouth. Well, you're a Cape native.
Yes, ma'am.
You have a vested reason to keep things here. We want to be supportive of each other.
I think it's important, as a mother of two children, 21 and 23. I don't know if they'll ever be able to move out of my house. No,
I know it's true though.
But everything is crazy, and a lot of what I was trying to do in my previous position was change that by collaborating with other groups, because by changing that we could keep and or attract younger individuals for good paying jobs. So as I said earlier, my son just completed the Cape Cod Community College Aviation Mechanics program.
Great program.
In August. Great program. And again, half of his 2-year certification was free, which is even more amazing. And they worked closely with Cape Air. So he's been working at Cape Air for a year and a half now. And then not only that, but with the professors at his school, he actually just applied for a job at Delta, which is,
that's amazing.
The premier thing. So sad part about that is, yes, that would draw him off Cape. But that's, again, why trying to collaborate our college and our businesses to keep, opportunity here.
Yeah.
Be able to step out of these, these different certifications or the trade schools. I love the push for trade. I can't speak highly enough of it. I mean, as a business owner for a drywall business, I'll probably get myself in trouble, but a lot of people say, oh, the foreign community is stealing all the jobs from the Americans. No Americans are very few Americans are actually trying to do these jobs. And I'll tell you, they are amazing. They are respectful. They show up. They do a good job. So, the rap that, whether the Brazilian community or other,
we have to support the people that are showing up for us right now. So shut your mouth. They're working.
It's just frustrating because they have been the ones that have been showing up and doing the work and really making a big difference here. So a lot of the scares that have been happening, I was actually just talking with Weekend last week. There's been a couple scares with the whole ICE thing where our crews have said, we can't go to work today because we're afraid that, we're going to get picked up.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And I'm like, okay, you're not criminals. You are contributing to our community. You are working hard. Your kids are in the school system. It baffles my mind that we are really
that it's 2025 and we're having this conversation. I agree.
Well, but this building, there's so much building happening. If we get rid of all that, where are we then?
Yeah, I'm excited. Tomorrow, I had to actually push my board meeting for the Mashpee Chamber of Commerce a week because I am hosting RCC Day, which is a residential construction career day.
Oh,
over at so they're busing kids from all over the Cape in to check out the trades.
Well
And actually work
done.
in the trades for the day. And there's like little workshop stations all over the place
Very
where people
cool.
can see if they like it. And this is really what that job looks like.
Oh,
And
that's
it's such a
interesting.
collaboration between HBRAC, between Mass Hire, the Workforce Board, and a lot of the contractors on Cape,
Amazing.
talking to these kids about like, this is what this job actually looks like.
And what's the age group? Or
It's all teenagers. They're all high school kids.
okay, good.
So yeah, I've been tasked with wrangling them in between activities.
Look out, kids.
But I'm really excited to be able to be at that space of, yeah, it's not always going to be this career in which you're doing this. It's you're going into this workforce here. And yes, housing is an issue for them.
That's
And
right.
yes, but we need to keep them
That's
here
right.
to be able to continue growth here.
That's right.
So I'm really excited to be part of this group and to have this day with them tomorrow.
Oh, that's I didn't know
Hopefully
anything
the weather
about
gets
it. So thank you.
better. Yeah, I'll share with you the RCC day.
Please do.
It's just a really good group of people, and thousands of our kids are going to be seeing, yes, it's okay to be in the trades. And also, this is what a career could look like. They
That's right.
might even meet their next employer
Right.
that day,
Well,
which
and
is awesome.
I think it was the Falmouth school system. I saw them at an event. And they're actually trying to engage their students at an even younger age, not just high school, but
Yep.
junior high and then even younger, because by the time they get to high school, a lot of the times they are kind of think they know where they want to go. So, getting the younger kids out there to be able to see some of this,
Yep.
kind of piques their interest. So I say all the time. So my son with our business, our drywall business, has worked several times, with my husband doing drywall. And every day he'd come home after and he goes, I never want to do that job.
Right. Because you know how hard it is.
So just understanding, and I think it's good to, work with your hands. And obviously he does like to work with his hands. He's in mechanics. So that's not, that wasn't what he wanted to do.
Yep.
So to really have those experiences. And as I said to my kids all the time, you kind of have to have those different jobs. I did a lot of restaurant work when I was a teenager. So
I suggest everybody do restaurant work. I did it for years and years.
I do as well.
You learn how to interact with people. You learn how to count change back. You learn how to problem solve. Right. It's actually just a really good space to learn.
Well, and you appreciate when you go out to dinner or what's all involved,
Yes.
So when something goes wrong, it isn't necessarily that the wait staff that is causing that, that kerfuffle or whatever, went wrong, and to really try to be more understanding of how things might happen. So neither of my kids worked in the restaurant, but doing different jobs. So my son did landscaping and did great at it. He's like, I don't want to do that either. I said, but now you have the tools to, unless you're going to be able to pay somebody to take care of your lawn.
Yeah.
Now all the ins and outs of caring for your own property some days. So I think it's important of doing those things, making sure they have those jobs. It is hard, with, younger employees and all the rules and regulations, with, their working papers or whatever, of what they can do. But I think, we're almost hindering them in what is possible by not allowing them to get out there and test the waters at a younger age and, learn that discipline and understanding of going to do that job but also getting that paycheck too.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, wasn't that some of the best things when you were younger? Like you get a paycheck, you didn't have bills, it was like, oh, I can do whatever I want with this. Like, oh,
I know. And my daughter actually had a really good summer like that, and that paid for her tuition with her own debit card. And I almost fell down dead. And I was like, oh my God, we're doing it right.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And in one instance, I mean, she calls us constantly for stupid money and dumb things now, but it's fine.
Well, that just comes along with having kids.
Correct. It was that one proud, solid moment. I was like, oh, this is just an amazing thing. My son, he's still learning that. Money in, money out. He'll work for some more, or he'll just have mom and dad. What did he ask me last night? Oh, you're working at Shipwrecked. Can you bring me home one of those little artisanal pizzas? And I was like, get a job.
Nope. Give me your card. Sure, I'll go get that for you.
These kids, I'll tell you what, we've been talking to Jenn Brann today, and she's involved in so many activities. Your philanthropy is rivaling a small army. The amount of things that you're involved in. It's not only Cape Women in Business, but it's Love Live Local.
Yes.
What do you do there?
So I'm on their development committee. Again, as a small business owner, we talked earlier about 25 years ago when we started our business, we had no resources.
Yeah.
I mean, there was some BNI groups. Have you ever been to a BNI
Yep.
group? That's a whole nother thing. And
Yep.
they're still around and they're still great. It just, my husband, like your husband, was
Yep.
not one of those people.
Nope.
And so when you're raising 2 little kids and trying to go to those early morning meetings, that didn't really work either. But no real resources. And so, we developed this business, from nothing. And so we were very fortunate. But if we had some of the things that are around today, so the E4All or SCORE or all these other, opportunities, it obviously would have made that less of a struggle.
Yeah.
And getting out there and being more visible. I mean, that's really what your business needs, is to get out there, to let people know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So the Love Live Local, being involved in that organization is near and dear, because it's all local small business.
Yep.
And I am a firm believer that is, between the arts community and, our local entrepreneurs, that is the community of the Cape in our region.
Yep.
And so supporting that so that they are successful, and helping them scale that. So if that means, okay, yes, they've now done, the local the Love Local Fest. I always want to put
I know,
extra
right?
in there.
It's a lot of L's, a lot of alliteration.
I do volunteer at those festivals. And if you haven't gone to any of the festivals, the next one will be the Christmas one, which is on the Town Green in Hyannis. It has an amazing draw of people and that sense of community that I so think we have gone away from. It keeps bringing that back. So I love seeing all of these, there's usually about 100 plus vendors there,
Yeah.
local vendors. So there's a little of everything. So when you're supporting those local small businesses, you're supporting that family to put food on the table, to pay that ridiculous mortgage, or rent, or whatever it is. And keeps that culture alive.
Yeah.
So, part of, with Love Live Local is not only supporting that local small business, but then also helping them, figure out, what's next for them.
Yeah.
So
and I'm
exciting.
glad that organization in Hyannis, Barnstable in particular, but they're working with the Cape Cod Commission to give actual factual stats about what it is to shift your spending.
Right.
And this is what the conversation that we're continuing and having. And I just had Patrice, thank you very much, Chris Ball over at Mashpee TV, put together this really great shop local promotional video for us for the holiday season, to shop local in Mashpee and to keep your dollars here, and actual talking about specific spends. Like if you shift $100, you're changing $5 million worth of stuff. If everybody in Mashpee shifted to $100 of your holiday spending to just shop in Mashpee, $5 million of local economic development is happening. Like that's just a crazy statistic to say out loud.
That's right.
But that shift is huge. And most of our businesses, 90% of small businesses are on Cape Cod. 90% are small businesses. So like that, wrap your brain around that statistic the next time you go and buy your next thing online. Try and shift that spending just a little bit. I do understand the convenience factor and I do understand availability. Yep. Listen, I'm not on an island. Cheryl's sharing me more videos over here about her public transportation. I'll have to watch it. You're doing it better than we are. I didn't say it's best.
That's right. Everything's a work in progress.
Right?
Nothing's perfect.
I know. Well, when you get that influx of a bazillion people over there during holiday weekends, it has to be chaotic, period. It just is.
That's right. That's right.
What do you want to say before we go? Because we've been yapping on for an hour.
Just wanted to thank you for the opportunity this morning. Excited to be here. I've been, wanting to get on your show. I didn't, know how to do it. Serafina sent me the link and gave me the, the inside scoop on how to do it.
Right. Pretty painless. We are fully booked for the month of October, but I would love to have you on in November if you want to come on and just chat with us, whatever it is, your organization, your volunteerism, your group, your people. I love to hear about it. It really is just, it makes this is my community engagement. This is my importance. Every single morning I get up and I'm excited to talk to a new person about what's going on in their space. You've got a lot of things.
Well, and so we did talk about the Enterprising Women event and then this documentary screening on October 30th. So super excited about that.
Well, you made me want to see it. So you got one.
I hope so. And then not only that, but our next Cape Women in Business event will be our Merry Sip and Shop. It's going to be on November 13th. 13th, and it will be at Xavier Walker's location, the pop-up street, Cape Cod at 606 Main Street, starting at 5:30. So really excited to not only showcase, one of our, she's one of our co-creators too, but one of our members,
awesome.
and supporting her business. So I encourage you to go check out Cape Women in Business. We're on LinkedIn. There's a page there. You can also go to our website at cwbconnects.com, and to see the different events that we have, and to join in what we're doing, so we can celebrate you and your business, because again, that's how we move the needle, is by supporting each other, collaborating, networking, connecting, and or mentoring as needed.
What if somebody here saw you today and they're like, I've got the perfect opportunity for Jenn Brann? How do people get a hold of you? What's the best way?
My email is jenniferbrand25@gmail.com. And whether it's an opportunity, or you want to get involved, or you just want to connect, I might not have a paid job right now, but my family even says, how are you so busy? I am constantly meeting and still networking with people. Lots of different opportunities are coming my way.
It's got to be the right one.
Amen.
You got to want to do it.
Yep.
This is your chance to be picky about it. And that's why, I was not ever seeing myself in Mashpee. But I'm so glad that I'm here doing this job, and I can't see myself. I was like, why didn't I ever think of this? This was a good job for me. Because I love it.
That's right. So, I think the opportunity will present itself, and I'd rather, I'm not just going to just go get a job just to get a paycheck. Although I have to say, unemployment, that's a whole nother shit.
Yes, it is. Not exactly so fun.
I haven't had to deal with that before, and it is no fun.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. And I'm a believer that everything happens for a reason. And so it's just time to be able to move on and advance the next organization that is having great impact here locally. I mean, that is really the focus for me, is how the impact can be local, and rechanging. I say all the time, let's, yes, tourism is what we need to focus on, and not
it does bring other dollars to us. Yes,
but we need to be talking about year-round sustainable economy.
Yep.
It shouldn't just be the tourism season. And by supporting local small business, we can do that. And so I loved, the statistics that you were saying about just $100.
Yeah.
Guilty of Amazon. I mean, we all
of
are,
us. It's a convenience and an availability.
But
those are the two things, and I totally get it. But just $100 of your holiday shopping when you're out there, what a shift it is.
And I would even say, so Love Live Local does put out a survey, gets you to sign up for your holiday spending, and then kind of come back and say what your spending was, to help in, creating those statistics. But it also is a reminder to shop local.
Yeah.
So I encourage everybody, when you see it come out, definitely partake in it. Because, when you say that you're going to respond to it, it kind of holds you up to a little higher level.
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
Really
you made the commitment. Now it's in writing.
That's right.
You wrote it down.
Nobody's going to come hunt you down, but yes, it just makes you a little bit more accountable of how you're spending your money.
If you're around from noon until 2 today, I would love to see your shining faces over at Petal It Forward. It's an event that's happening at Enchanted Florist. All of the floral industry members across the United States are handing out 2 free floral bouquets to people in their communities. And the goal is to just encourage recipients to keep one flower, get the second one, and spread joy, promote mental wellness. And it's an event that I absolutely adore. Kelly pulled me in a space where I really needed some help mentally to connect with my community. And I've been doing this now for 5 years, and I absolutely love Kelly and her connection to the community. So come get a flower, be happy today at Enchanted Florist in Centerville. And Jenn and I will see you out there at one of our networking events. Have a good day.
Thanks for having me.
Bye. I feel like we covered a lot of ground today.
Just a little?
just
Did
a
we
little
need any
bit.
fillers?
I don't think we even needed any fillers. Oh, I didn't even ask our question of the day. Those pressing moments like, what's your favorite cheese?
Oh, geez. That probably would have got me in trouble.